we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you, sorry about that, our fourth segment, which is going to be talking about some Twins roster moves, just going over the team as of recently and what has been happening with them. So let's get into it. Now, recently, the Twins did end up making two pretty significant roster moves, placing infielder Royce Lewis on the injured list and calling up top prospect Brooks Lee from the minors. So I want to talk about both and just give my general thoughts on them, so let's get into it. We will be talking about Brooks Lee first and then transitioning more into Royce Lewis and then just the Twins in general. So yeah, talking about Brooks Lee here. If you've watched my show now for the time it's been on these couple of months, I've loved Brooks Lee. I think this guy's a fantastic prospect. Really has a ton of hit tool to like. I think really is going to be a plus player in the future. He's going to add in really nice this Twins young core, and I had him picked for one of my Rookie of the Year candidates. I thought he would be up earlier in the season, but at the same time, the Twins decided now is the right time. I'm not going to disagree with them. They know him better than me. So, yeah, he's having a great season down in the minor leagues, and overall is going to be a fantastic player in the future. Very excited to watch him. And just going over him right now, I mean, he's a 23-year-old switch-hitting infielder, 6'1", 205. Really nice frame for a middle infielder. His hit tool is a 65, which is fantastic. Power is a 55, run is a 50, arm is 55, and fielding is a 50, overall 55. He is a top 15 prospect in the entire league. Somehow only second, though, in the Twins organization. They have a really nice prospect capital right now. So Lee is someone I've had my eyes on for a little while. Again, I thought he would be the opening day shortstop for this Twins team, but unfortunately did not make the team out of camp. And, I thought he had a really good chance to, but obviously they decided that wasn't the best time, and I guess they've been proven right. The team has done fine without him, but at the same time, I still like Lee a lot. I still think he could have been up before, and I think there's a lot to love about this guy. Now, looking at Lee, I think this is someone that really represents more hope for this Twins franchise. There's a lot of great, fantastic players on this team, and adding in another top prospect to it would be absolutely amazing. Of course, Lewis is a top prospect for a long time, being the first overall pick in the MLB draft, so there's a lot to like for this Twins team, and I think Lee coming up really signifies that. Again, I think Lee is someone that shows plus hitting tool in the major leagues, will be a great defender, runs really well, is going to field great at that shortstop position, third base position, second base position, wherever he plays. So someone I'm very excited to watch. I think there's a ton of talent here with this guy, and there's a lot to love. So very excited to watch him in the major leagues. He made his debut yesterday with the Twins, so a lot to like with him. And overall, someone I will definitely be watching as the season goes on, as the future goes on, and just someone I really am excited to follow, and excited to end up seeing just how really he progresses as a player, and with this Twins team as well. So yeah, very excited and very interested to see where his career does go from here with Minnesota. Now, also after that, we of course had Royce Lewis. Some more negative news for the Twins, probably the reason why Lee was indeed called up. Lewis was placed on the injured list again with a hamstring strain, and just a huge blow for this Twins team. I had a whole segment on Lewis, how well he was doing in his small time span being called back up to the major leagues from his injury. And yeah, Lewis is just another part of this Twins team, another star on this Twins team that is amazing when healthy, but cannot stay it. I mean, you look at Byron Buxton as really the main guy with that kind of, when the main guy is that kind of description, a player who went on the field as an MVP level player, but can never stay on it consistently. And Lewis is adding up to that, his second significant injury for this year. Of course, got hurt in the first game of the year. He started off 2 for 2 against the Royals and then got hurt, so that was really unfortunate. Obviously, it was a huge blow to the Twins at that time. Came back, has done fantastic in a short time span here, and now he's back on the injured list again. So, obviously, this is going to be something that Lewis has to battle for the rest of his career. Has shown that he is going to be injury prone, unfortunately. And yeah, just it's really unfortunate for a guy that I love. I think has a ton of talent. I think there's a lot to love about this guy. I think he has just immense talent, and I'm very excited to watch him in the future. But it's just really unfortunate that he keeps getting injured, and it really does keep affecting the Twins team because he is such a big part of it. He is such a significant part of what they do over there in the Twin Cities, of how good this team is. And I really think this guy is a fantastic player when he's out in the field, but he just is not. And it really is something that is unfortunate. And it's just sad for Twins fans keep getting these first overall picks like Byron Buxton, like Royce Lewis, who are really generational type talents, and they just always have to deal with the injury bugs. And you also have Carlos Correa as well, who isn't exactly the most healthy player of all time. So it's just a lot of injury risk this Twins team. But when they're on the field, man, are they good. And this Twins team, they have a lot going right for the future. I mean, Renfield, you have players like Eduardo Julian, Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa, Brooks Lee. Those four guys, I really think, can be the mainstays of your infield for the future. You're going to have probably Julian at first. You can have Lewis at second, Correa at short, Lee at third. Maybe switch Lee to short, Correa to third as Correa gets older. Obviously, he was going to do it at the Mets when he signed there, but obviously it didn't work out. So there's really a lot to like about this Twins team. I think the future is really looking good for them. I really think an underrated future within this league. I don't think enough people talk about how good this Twins team is going to be in the future. And I think there really is a lot to like right now about them and just what they are building there in Minnesota. Now, going over this entire team, again, I think the Twins are a very solid team this year. There's a lot to like with the pitching staff part. I mean, Pablo Lopez is a really good pitcher. Obviously, he's having a down season this year, but I still believe in him as well. You also have some young pitchers like Bailey Ober, Louis Varland, Chris Paddock, Simeon Woods-Richardson, guys like that who are really good young players that add a lot to this Twins team. Have a very nice bullpen as well with guys like Justin Topa, Johan Duran in the back end of that bullpen who have been very good. So overall, I think this Twins team is very good. I think there's a lot to love about it and a lot of pieces here that I don't think people give them enough credit for. I think overall this Twins team is very, very good. There's a lot to like in the future and is a team that really has a lot going for them. This Lewis injury is kind of unfortunate, I'd say, but calling Lee up, you get to fulfill really, I'd say substitute Lewis's value with Lee. I don't think Lee's going to be as good of a player as Lewis was in that time when he was healthy, but I think Lee is still a really, really good player, a really great young prospect that is going to do a lot of damage in this league. And again, I had him as a Rookie of the Year candidate at the start of the year. I think very highly of him, and I think this is a guy that really is going to be a monster in the leagues in the future. So, yeah, I mean, looking at this Twins team again, they still have a really nice future ahead of them. Walter Jenkins, a top 5 prospect in baseball, one of the top picks in the draft last year, is going to be up sooner rather than later. Is a guy I really, really like in this Twins team. I mean, he's just absolutely a beast. His ETA right now is 2026, so only really have to wait 2 years. He's only an A-ball, 19 years old. I think he's going to be an absolute monster when he comes up. That's someone else who's going to help this team. You also, of course, have Emmanuel Rodriguez, who you acquired in the trade from Seattle as an outfield prospect. So overall, I think this guy's another player that is really going to help out with this team. You also, of course, have David Festa, a top pitching prospect you called up. Luke Keschall, who's another prospect in this Twins organization. So overall, this Twins team has a lot of young players going for it, a lot of young prospects that are going to be up soon, really doing damage, and there's a lot to like here for this Twins team in the future. This year is going to be interesting to watch with them. I mean, you look at the AL Central where they are currently. They're in second place, a game ahead of the Royals, really involved in the wild card right now. You look at what position they are in. Currently, they're second place in the wild card, so they're firmly in this playoff position. So, a lot to like about this Twins team, a lot to love in the future, and I think that overall this team is very, very good, are going to continue to be good for a long, long time. You have to deal with the Royce Lewis stuff, but again, you have a lot of depth, and I don't really think it's going to be a long-term problem. So, yeah, that is it for our fourth segment here, talking about the Twins and just some roster moves, going over them in general. Going into our fifth segment here, which is going to be talking about the pitcher power rankings from this week, just going over them and giving my thoughts. So, yeah, we'll be seeing you after the break, so thanks and bye.